Kevin is like drumming against the other drummer. And that other drummer, listen, I know it's irrational, but like he looks so dumb. He's
the other drummer.
The other drummer, yeah. Because like Kevin, like he's like, you know, looks like a drummer. And this other guy's like, and it just, I don't know what it is about it makes me irrationally angry. I'm like, you don't need all that. Yeah. That's unnecessary. That's not, you don't look cool. You look like a moron. Because that guy, he's like, I guess he was internet famous. That's why they brought him on to do that. But like one of these days, I'll be somewhere. Catch him slipping in the streets. I'll see him. I'll be like, "Hey, you're that guy from the episode of The Office." He'll be like, "Yeah," slap him right in the mouth. They'll call security and haul me out. It'll be cool.
Oh man. Welcome everybody to the room upstairs. We're back. My name is Bird, and I'm here as always with my hosts,
the TallBeing and Jolly Spirit today.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were calling me Jolly Spirit.
Oh. Yeah, he's Jolly Spirit.
That's the new name that we've given you.
I'm Krampus.
For this month. Jolly Spirit. Yeah.
I like it. No, go ahead and say your real name if you want.
MephisJoe. We're using our made-up names, Jolly.
Unless Jolly Spirit is your actual name now.
Yeah, I feel like Jolly has some negative connotations to it. Because you think about Jolly, you think of Santa, and when you think about Santa, you think chubby, right? I get it. I am.
I don't know that I would say that's a negative connotation.
Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this is the room upstairs. This is where we battle out movies, remake and original, and have mini battles. And we're going to be doing that today. By the way, this is the greatest group of Who's from Whoville that you've seen since the Grinch.
We're human-sized, Bird.
They were human-sized?
No, they live on the speck of a...
Okay, but they're human-sized when you're seeing them in the screen.
Don't worry, we'll get to the...
So listen...
We'll get to the trilogy.
You know what? I can't... We would veer too far off if I asked the question I've got to ask, right?
Is it about the Grinch?
No, so you're saying, comparison-wise, they are human-sized. Mm-hmm. But like if they saw one of us, we would be massive.
Yes.
Like a celestial.
When they're seeing us on the screen, we're the same size as the Who's that they watch on the screen.
As of Horton Hears a Who, we are so big that they can't see us. We just take up the sky.
Correct. That was not my reference just now, though.
I was listening to this podcast recently, and the question came up. You know, like you're talking about kaijus, right? Things that are larger.
Yeah.
How do you define a kaiju, right? Because that's an important question, right? Because like Cthulhu, is Cthulhu a kaiju?
Who's Cthulhu?
I want to say
Cthulhu's like the elder god, like Squidface.
Yeah,
he can destroy everything. Like he can like wipe out all of existence with just a thought. Yeah. From the H.P. Lovecraft horrors.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not.
So it's the one that you might know, the Celestials from Marvel Universe.
Okay,
right? Like just one of their heads appears and dwarfs the entire Earth.
Right.
I feel like that's too big to be a kaiju, you know?
Okay, so the debate is how big?
Yeah, because then the question is, like, so to a Whovian, we couldn't be a kaiju because we don't exist on their
scale.
On their scale.
We would be more celestials.
Yeah, we'd be celestial-like, right?
Okay.
So then, we're thinking like the borrowers, right? Like the little teeny tiny people that creep around, like. To the borrowers, we would be their kaiju.
Yeah, and I can get behind that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was listening to a podcast I thought it was really interesting. I was like, man, we could. I feel like I've already.
Well, that kind of changes the category that we're doing for the creatures for our next episode.
Are we considering them kaiju? We'll talk about that later, too.
Okay. All right, well, let's get back on track here for this episode. So we're going to be battling out the Grinch Jim Carrey version versus the animated Benedict Cumberbatch.
Not the original short one, because that would destroy the other two.
Correct. Yes. Correct. That would be unfair. So we're doing those two movies. We're going to battle those out in just a little bit. We're also going to continue our mini tournament of composers.
Composer battle.
Mm-hmm. And just as a reference for the future, next episode, is going to be a special episode, end of the year episode. That's going to be a fun one where we have these categories and awards.
A very special episode.
We can call it, yeah.
We are going to be hosting. Can I say the name?
Go ahead.
All right, we are going to be hosting the first annual Room Upstairs Sonia Awards.
Sonia Blade.
So that,
if you're caught up on the lore of us, then you'll understand.
Right. But it's basically going to be all the movies that we have seen this past year. And
I've seen like 4 movies this year.
Oh, you've seen more than that. Maybe 6.
I've rewatched movies.
Oh yeah, those count.
But that's what counts. It's what we've seen this year. So
recently I watched The Last Holiday.
Yeah, that counts.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Like Megamind for
Winner.
us,
Done.
that
Over.
counts.
Yeah. So anything that we've talked about for the past year on this podcast, anything that we've seen that maybe we didn't talk about, is going to be part of the awards ceremony for the next episode.
Listen, just recently, Bird and I watched Everything Everywhere All the Time.
Oh,
yeah.
That was a phenomenal movie.
He still hasn't seen that one.
Yeah, I don't know that you should.
That's what I'm saying. That's
it had
why
some
he
stuff in it that, you know.
Yeah.
But man,
but aside from that, it was great.
Yeah, it was well, whatever. We'll talk about that another time.
So anyway, that's for the next episode. So make sure to stay locked in, hit the like buttons and subscribe and all that. That way you know when that next episode comes out.
I think they call it cutting and pasting now.
Cutting and pasting?
Yeah, you cut and paste.
Whatever. Cut
and paste, y'all.
Just do that. Cut and paste. And follow us on our socials. The Room Upstairs. We're on Facebook and we're on Instagram. The Room Upstairs Podcast.
What do we call Twitter now? Is it X?
It's
Is that
just
X?
X.
No, we have collectively decided to not call it that. It is the website formerly known as Twitter.
Okay.
But then you're like,
whatever.
But then you're making it seem like it's as cool as Prince, and nothing is as cool as Prince.
Okay,
True.
so I heard, or I watched a video podcast, and they were saying, which one would you get rid of? It was Michael Jackson, James Brown. I forget who the third one was, but the other one was Prince.
Oh,
Prince. Personally,
But that would be mine also.
Yeah.
I would get rid of Prince.
you get rid of Prince? You know how much stuff he wrote though?
I do. He wrote a lot of Michael Jackson's stuff.
He wrote like
my
everybody.
pick is the third option, whatever that was.
It was another good one though.
We're not getting rid of James Brown though.
Not James Brown for sure.
Yeah, if only for me, if we only keep James Brown around for some of the like memes.
The memes.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have Bully
Like that one where he's
James Brown,
rising up and he's all sweaty.
Yeah. Yep.
I love that one. And then there's the one where he's like shimmying forward on one foot. And it's like,
He's got some good ones for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Just the memes, man.
Anyway, that was another random thing.
Really
Let's get back into it.
You know,
let's get back into what we're talking
cut
about.
all this out. This is just like a random aside. Start fresh. Here we go.
There we go. Okay, so where were we? Follow us on our socials. The Room Upstairs Podcast on Instagram and on Facebook. And then, of course, if you're listening, we are on YouTube. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hit the button. Hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, that one. One of the buttons. No. The other one. Go down. There you go, that one.
There you go. All right. So
That was the most embarrassing thing you ever did.
No. Last time I did the Luigi.
The rap?
voice. No, that was awesome.
Okay.
I'm talking about.
Oh,
All right. Well, that business is out the way.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get into some of
We got our Conan update.
our other business is what
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Okay.
So Conan update. The movie is still nothing.
Yeah,
But we can mention Conan later on when we do the composer battle.
it's true.
Yeah, we can. And also, if you guys are interested, there is a Conan contest going on Instagram. If you go to Conan the Barbarian Official, they're doing a contest where if you draw, no, not if you draw, you have to draw Conan and then send it in, and you can get a signed copy of the comic signed by Roy Thomas.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if you're an artiste, go to Conan the Barbarian Official and send in a drawing of Conan. You might win a signed copy. That'd be cool.
The stick figures count.
I mean, you can send it in and see what happens. They're good. The worst they could say. Yeah, the worst they could say is no. You don't win.
But this is the most detailed stick figure I've ever seen.
Yeah, look at the definition of those lines.
Or they'll see it and they'll be like, "This guy got schizophrenia."
Well, there we go.
Yeah,
that's that.
Well, moving on.
Okay.
Composer battle.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah, let's get to it. Give them a refresh.
All right. So every week we've been having two composers against each other. Have a tournament. I think we have brackets now.
Yes.
Finally, we have brackets.
They're up on the socials. You can see the brackets.
Yeah. And today's is going to be Tyler Bates versus Bernard Herrmann.
Yeah.
We've done stuff and also stuff.
Things.
Yeah.
Bernard Herrmann is the older composer.
Yeah. And Brian Tyler, or not Brian Tyler, Tyler Bates.
I kept doing that. Yeah. And it's funny because Tyler Bates, he did Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay.
But Brian Tyler did the Fast and the Furious stuff. So that made it even more confusing for me.
Yeah, that's not good.
But anyway, so Bernard Herrmann, he pretty much did all the Alfred Hitchcock movies. Mm-hmm. So if you're not familiar, so the music from Alfred Hitchcock, I know you guys know that stuff. That's Bernard Herrmann. He also did a lot of the Twilight Zone stuff. He did the original theme to the Twilight Zone, nice. But not the one that we know. Not that one, but the original theme. And then a lot of the music for the episodes. So he's an older guy. He's actually he died in 1975, which is also interesting because so he died at 64 in 1975.
Rest in peace.
Tyler Bates was 10 years old when Bernard Herrmann died.
Whoa.
That's the age difference that we're battling right here. I thought that was really interesting.
Well, I thought it was interesting that like Herrmann had like a tiny bit of resurgence because of Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, let's see what he's done. And then I was like, Kill Bill.
Right.
What is this?
But I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. So it's the whistle. It's That's Bernard Herrmann.
Yeah.
And that's thanks to Quentin Tarantino for throwing that in there.
Quentin Tarantino, who loves all things old and obscure.
Yeah, and so that's like a second resurgence because he had like his height was in the mid 60s.
Yeah.
With Hitchcock, and then late 60s, early 70s. He didn't really get a lot of work until a very unknown director at the time got him for a movie called Taxi Driver.
Oh.
Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
It was one of his first movies. He hired Bernard Herrmann again to do the music, and then that was a big time movie.
Yeah.
So he kind of
that's
gained a
cinematically. It's like one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yeah. So that's fun about Bernard Herrmann and Tyler Bates. He did a bunch of newer stuff.
Mm-hmm. John Wick's.
Yeah.
The newer Conan.
He did the newer Conan. And like I mentioned, he did Hobbs and Shaw. He did
stuff that is pretty iffy sometimes, but the music is always works with it.
Yeah. So
he did Deadpool 2.
Oh yeah.
The Spy Who Dumped Me.
Guardians. Wait, who's in that? Who's in that movie?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Spy Who Dumped Me is Mila.
That's Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis.
Okay.
And that other girl.
Kate McKinnon.
Yeah, Kate McKinnon.
I think I was thinking of a different. Okay, I was thinking of a different.
Not the Barbie girl, but she was
the
haircut crazy girl.
The Barbie girl in the Barbie world.
So Bernard Herrmann, he had a total credits of about 92 movies that he scored, composed, and Tyler Bates has 130 so far and counting. So
this was tough for me. This was really tough for me.
Yeah, well, again, like very, very different, like a whole different age of movies, and a whole different style of making your music. So it was kind of tough.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna talk about this in a second, real quick, but I'll start it here. We watched the first 3 John Wick movies, and composed by Tyler Bates.
Tyler Bates.
Right? In a pre-rewatched John Wick world, I would have probably said Bernard Herrmann.
Mm-hmm.
But after watching John Wick, he did some pretty good music for it. He knows how to do his action spy movie, like, techno beats.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I'm still
Spy
going to
Who
say...
Dumped Me?
I'm still going to say Bernard Herrmann, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
why?
really like his stuff.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, you're the one that composed the list, so.
Yeah. I also really like Brian Tyler. The Guardians of the Galaxy
Tyler
thing.
Bates.
Yeah, him.
His name is just too confusing.
His Guardians themes. I sing their praises to the end of the days.
Uh-huh.
Some of the best Marvel music, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I still am going to give it to Bernard Herrmann. He did the Psycho, that screeching violin that has become a staple of horror
everything.
Music. Yeah. Pop culture. I really like his style. Like, it is a lot more classical inspired, but at the same time very distinct from like John Williams kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Howard Shore kind of stuff.
So some more fun facts about this guy. So he, we've talked about like Giacchino and Ludwig being like the new style of composing, right? Where they use different sounds and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that was him.
Doing that. Yeah.
That was him in the 40s and 50s. Nobody did stuff like the screeching type violins. Yeah. Nobody used like electronic type stuff that he did in what was the alien movie that he did? War of the Worlds. No, was it War of the Worlds or was it the day the Earth stood still? One of those.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one it was. Another fun thing is that he did the what movie did I just say? The Day the Earth Stood Still. Tyler Bates did the new version of that movie.
The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So we're gonna battle those movies one day, and that'll be fun. But
we'll come back to this.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. But anyway, so yeah, he was using these sounds that nobody was using at the time, and kind of shaped what Giacchino and those guys are doing because he was doing it first.
That's so.
So
I guess that's why I like him. Then I didn't realize that listening to him.
Yeah, and he even like. So at that time, the movie studios had their own orchestra. I don't know, maybe they still do, but they had him at that time. So he would like do everything, like he would conduct them, he would compose it.
That's cool.
Everything, and sometimes he would use the whole orchestra. Sometimes he would use just some of it, just to get the sound that he wanted to get for the movies. I think
it sounds like we have Bird's answer.
Well, he was also not very well liked in the industry.
Yeah, most of the time.
So he was kind of like a perfectionist guy.
Oh yeah.
And very so he was quoted as saying that Alfred Hitchcock doesn't finish his movies. He only does about 60% of them, and he finishes the rest.
That's like, a bold statement.
That's the kind of person he was. So he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
And I can see, and that for sure, like is a pretty bold statement. But he's not entirely bold.
Yeah. How much of Psycho would you know if it wasn't for that?
Oh,
music?
for sure. Like,
and I'm sure if like I thought about it and went back and looked, I could find movies that I'm like really great, but the music or the sound just brings it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you want me to just go ahead and vote then?
Go for it, man.
So Bernard Herrmann, yes.
Okay.
And that is why, because he is those movies.
Yeah.
Like, he probably wasn't liked at that time. He was kind of blackballed because of his attitude toward people. Like, he wasn't a people person. He was just like, let me do my thing. You guys don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
There was actually that Psycho scene with the music. Alfred Hitchcock was like, yeah, we're not going to put music there. And he's like, yes, you're dumb. Like, we're going to put music and it's going to be this. And, this now that's what we know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he wasn't liked, but he did some great music. And you can't separate him from those movies. Yeah. So that's why I'm going with him. And I thought it would be the other way around too.
Yeah, I was really sure that it was going to be a Tyler Bates win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also vote Herrmann and similar reasons. Like I thought
not expecting that.
Herrmann's sweet.
Like Bates has good stuff. The reality for me is though, like, if I'd be hard pressed to like even hum you, like maybe I can do some Guardians or something.
But anything else?
But like I mean, you got like North by Northwest, Psycho. I mean,
so good.
All these like iconic songs and sounds that I grew up with for sure. Mm-hmm. And like have been referenced over and over and over again in other things. Like
it's funny you say that you grew up with them. These movies came out in the '60s when we weren't even born yet, but yet we're still growing up with them. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure part of that is like because movies just come out so much fast. Like I watched Trolls in the theater, like this third one, like a couple weeks ago, and like within the next month or two, I'll like have it digitally. I remember watching movies in the theater when I was a kid, and you'd have to wait like well over a year before they even thought about putting a VHS out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so when you did have stuff, it continued to circulate. It got showed over and over again, or you just watched it over and over again because it's what you had on hand. And so I grew up. I'm sure you did too. Like pop in the VHS, and you watch the movies that your parents had, or watch the movies that your parents' friends loaned them or something,
or whatever just played on TV.
Yeah, or whatever was on TV. Yeah, and so like like it's the same with like television. Like how much I Love Lucy you've seen,
right?
A good amount.
How much
right, but why? Is it because you were just flipping through channels and you stopped, or is it because we're like, we're gonna watch this show tonight, and then you're like, all right, I guess I'll watch it.
Yeah, because like when I was a kid, like I Love Lucy, Gilligan's Island, like these are the things that are on, and like it's what my parents would watch anyway, and so like
I guess we're watching.
I've seen tons and tons of episodes of I Love Lucy and Gilligan's Island and Three's Company, and like you just keep going and going.
Yeah, see, Three's Company, you don't know nothing
but like
about.
There's so much now. Yeah. Like so much media,
and it's your choice. You go and whatever looks appealing is like, well, I'm gonna stop and give that a shot. I don't like it. I'm gonna try something else now.
It's one of the things that like, and like my wife listens sometimes. It baffles her because she like came over to visit me one day and she was like, "What are you watching?" It's like Hot Tub Time Machine. It's like, why are you watching it? Because it exists, and legitimately, that's why. Like, when I was younger, like I would just watch everything. Like, because there was not so much coming out. It wasn't hard to consume a lot of stuff. But now there's so much. And you have to pick and choose what you're going to consume anyway. Like, but I enjoy just like getting to sit down and watch something. Like, even if I'm not going to love it, it could be awful. Like, I've watched some really terrible movies.
Gonna enjoy it,
and I'm going to inflict some of those on you guys for sure.
Right.
But like,
justify it.
But it's like. But sometimes they become like part of your history, like we were talking about today, like watching that Almost an Angel. Like, man, I watched that movie so many times growing up, and I'll mention it to people and they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm like, because you only know Paul Hogan.
Next episode, all you guys are gonna know what he's talking about because we're gonna talk about that movie.
And then after that, I mean, like, because I'm like Midnight Madness, and it's like this disco, late 70s, or I think it came out like 81. Like, so that's the year I was born.
Yeah.
Right. But I watched that movie so many times as a kid because it's just, it was just so fun for me.
Yeah. Like you mentioned that Buckaroo Banzai.
Like, oh man, Buckaroo Banzai. Yeah.
Which I've seen people talk about.
It's a wild movie. You watch it and you're like, whoever wrote this is on drugs. Because then it feels like that. As an adult, I rewatch it, I'm like, what on earth? Like, this explains a lot about my childhood.
I think you could trace back some movies like that for sure.
Yeah.
Certain fears, certain traumas, like the Never-Ending Story.
So Never-Ending Story got me. The wolf in it was terrifying to me when I was a kid.
Yeah,
right?
I know that one.
The Tim Curry
Yeah,
he terrified me.
He was wild too.
Like, I think he broke a whole generation. Like that. That's why clowns.
Yeah, that's why they're so scary now.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, Bernard Herrmann.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I was not expecting a Bernard Herrmann win.
I definitely
not just win, man. Sweep.
It's a sweep, a full sweep. If any of you guys disagree, let us know and give us your counter argument to what we just brought.
Yeah.
But there's no way that Tyler.
You're gonna get a comment that's gonna say 300.
Oh well, yeah, I know. See, 300 was really good though. The music on it was really good.
It was.
But
it's not.
Yeah.
You're like, come on.
Right. I think that a lot of his stuff can be kind of moved around. Not really though. No, it's pretty specific to each movie.
Yeah.
So it's really good stuff. Yeah. No, but Bernard, he went. Yeah. Let us know. If you guys think that Tyler Bates has the better music, let us know, because we just don't see it at this point.
Yeah, we're not.
Whatever.
Not,
it's just
we're not so arrogant to think that we have all the answers. Like if someone.
Plus, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like
I'll concede someone a point or two.
Yeah.
Today,
just know that we are going to be right 60% of the time, and you are going to be right about 40% of the time.
I don't think that math adds up, man.
Well, it will today. So, all right. Well, Bernard Herrmann's going to move on to the next bracket.
Yeah. And
hey, maybe he can take down John Williams.
Oh, that's going to be wild if they meet up.
Perhaps.
I don't know.
Yeah, it could happen.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think at this point he's also a front runner for me.
Herrmann?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that.
So, all right. Well, who's next in the battle?
Next week is going to be Alan Silvestri.
Hey, the Avengers.
Yeah, Avengers and no, not the cat.
Looney Tunes joke.
Yeah.
So dumb.
I got him.
It broke me.
So,
Anyway,
Alan
Alan
Silvestri.
Silvestri and Elmer Bernstein.
Oh, see, you're going to say Elmer Fudd.
Tell the guy with the hat.
Yeah, the guy with the hat.
He probably wore a hat.
The guy with the hat versus the cat.
It's the cat in the hat. It's Dr.
Right,
Seuss.
Elmer Bernstein
Yeah, him.
versus Alan Silvestri. Okay, so Alan Silvestri is the Avengers. Elmer Bernstein is another older composer.
Yeah, he's done a lot of Western stuff.
Oh my
Your
gosh,
John
man.
Wayne's and your Magnificent.
I didn't know Elmer was coming in.
This is so funny. Yeah, so he's done a lot of westerns. You say?
Yeah,
Did he do Magnificent Seven?
you did. Yeah.
Okay, nice. All right, well that's gonna be another good one. So you guys do your homework. Find Elmer Fudd and Sylvester the Cat. You can find them on our playlist on Spotify.
If you can put those pictures for them.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do. What is the Clash of the Composers on Spotify under TallBeing Clash of the Composers.
Yeah.
On Spotify, you can find the playlist where it has all the composers on there. But if you want to zone in, just find the composers, listen to the music, and then let us know who you think should win. You can vote on the Spotify channel also.
Yeah.
You can go in there, and there's specific polls where you can vote. So
Have fun with that.
But again, let us know on
Have
this
as
other
much
stuff.
fun as we have the past 5 minutes.
Let us know on the Bernstein and oh my gosh, the Herrmann and Bates one.
Yeah.
So there.
You could have
All
said
right.
Tyler. It's
Let's-
right either way.
Oh gosh. All right.
Herman did Psycho.
Let's move on to the next.
Psycho has Norman Bates.
Oh,
Tyler
yeah.
Bates.
That's how we're going to remember it.
All right. We need to move on from this topic. It's
All right.
too much.
So we've got a couple little things before our main battle.
Yeah.
We had a trailer drop for Godzilla X Kong.
You know what? All right.
The
I'm
new
sorry.
Empire.
I'm sorry. I just gotta pause.
Okay.
I keep hearing how great that Godzilla
Me
So
too.
minus
one is.
Yeah, I really want to go watch it.
I really wanted to be there right now instead of doing this, but we just couldn't do it. So yeah, we're here.
I didn't even know if I was gonna be back yet.
Yeah.
But
This was a surprise. He wasn't supposed to be here.
Yeah. We
I
actually
spent the
have
last-
Hayden outside the door, and we said, "Sorry, dude."
I spent the last
MephisJoe showed up.
48 hours flying all across the country.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I've been awake since like 4 a.m.
Oh, congratulations.
It's probably why all the
It's contagious.
Yeah. So
Godzilla.
Kong.
It looks
That's
really
what
good.
Yeah.
There's
So
a-
minus one.
I don't
Yeah,
like-
that's right. Yeah.
I don't like the name very much. I wish it was just
Minus one.
No, for Godzilla
Oh,
Kong.
okay.
I don't
I
like
thought
the.
we were still on that one.
Sorry, no.
All right, but minus one
Minus
looks
one.
fantastic. I've heard
I've heard
fantastic things about
Only
it,
good things.
and I can't
How-
wait to watch it.
Apparently, the director said that in the same way that the original Godzilla was meant to be a metaphor for the Hiroshima bombing and Nagasaki, and then the Shin Godzilla was more Chernobyl. This is a COVID
interesting
metaphor.
I mean, I heard that it was,
or it can be. It's not explicitly supposed to be.
Yeah, because that's why I heard that it had like a deeper meaning than just it's a monster destroying.
Which a lot of the,
but that's what we like about Godzilla too. Yeah. There's like little messages that you can pick out of it.
Yeah, kaiju have meaning.
But what is it?
Godzilla's a kaiju.
Yeah, he's the not the original.
No, Kong was first.
Yeah, but the original Kong was like 15 feet tall or something.
Okay,
is that a kaiju?
Are we gonna get back into this then?
Is that a kaiju?
Anyway,
how about them? Remember them?
Them?
Yeah, giant ants. L.A.
No.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up because that movie's getting remade.
Is it?
Yeah, and the director is Michael Giacchino.
Are you serious? Okay,
it's going to be written by his brother. It's like a passion project.
Paul Giamatti?
I don't know anything that he's written, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't know. I don't think he's written. He's more documentaries.
But based off of
Werewolf by Night,
which is got that old look, redoing an old movie.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna be good.
Yeah,
that's already good.
He was talking about it. And it's like a passion project for him and his brother. Nice. Like we loved this movie as kids, so we're gonna try to bring some new life to it.
Okay, I'm with that.
Yeah.
I watched it as part of a class. We watched horror movies throughout the generations.
Was this college?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah. Like a class in high school where that's just the teacher not wanting to do anything.
Yeah, no, I had plenty of those too.
Yeah,
them was not on the list.
Well, I watched The Outsiders.
Biology class, Bird.
I watched Braveheart. I watched
Braveheart.
Yes, in history class.
Ain't that movie like 8 hours long?
Yeah.
What did I just say about teachers?
That was the week the teacher decided to check out.
Yep. There was another. Oh, it was the Kevin Costner. Dances with Wolves. No, not Water Wolves. That one was on my own. All right, so where are we at?
Anyway, Godzilla and Kong.
Oh yeah, we're still in that one.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Yeah, it doesn't look. Yeah, I like it. The director said there's going to be an 8-minute long kaiju only fight sequence. No humans involved.
Yeah,
which I think is a funny thing that they have to clarify in these movies.
I think it is, but a lot of people want that.
Yeah,
and they want specifically the people story or specifically the monsters just being monsters.
Yeah. Every time one of these comes out, there's always a divide. Everyone's either saying, no, put less humans in these movies, or please make their stories deep and meaningful like the old Godzilla movies.
Right.
And no.
They're just going to take the humans out. They're like, all right, we'll take them out. We don't need a good story.
Yeah. Which they don't. I'm here for I'm here for big monster fight.
I mean, when it shows Godzilla coming out of the earth and then running and then Kong comes behind him with his gauntlet.
When it showed Lanky Kong, man, I was so excited.
Yeah, Diddy Kong's in there. And
I did see Diddy. Yeah.
Oh man, it's gonna be a good one though.
Oh yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
Is this the movie that like crosses over the Marvel universe with Godzilla and King Kong?
That'd be crazy, man.
We're gonna secretly find out that King Kong and Donkey Kong are cousins.
Yeah, and that's
in the background. You just see one of the Kongs like wearing a
tie. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if they throw a little Easter egg in there.
Yeah.
Supposedly, there's a nod to the King Kong from
Peter Jackson.
Yeah, the Peter Jackson King Kong. I didn't see it. I didn't think it looked like him, but supposedly one of them looks like that Kong. I was like, I don't know. That's kind of a stretch. But
right, then.
Cool. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, looks good. I don't like the name. I wish it was just Godzilla X Kong. I think that would.
Not everything needs a subtitle, right?
Yeah, and I the subtitle just sounds like one of those fake fan trailer subtitles. You know, like
Empire.
Yeah, Iron Man 4, Tony Returns, or whatever. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Regardless, it's going to be a must-watch for me.
Absolutely. Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
It did bring back memories of when the first Godzilla versus Kong came out. It like brought them back, and all of a sudden I just start hearing in the middle of the night, Godzilla is attacking people and we don't know why. Well, what's the other line? We need Kong. The world needs him.
Yeah.
Those two lines were in every single promotional piece for that movie, and the promotion was everywhere. So they are burnt into my memory.
It's weird, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what other trailer or information do we have?
Oh well.
Now that you mention it.
Yeah.
I do have a few other things.
The Game Awards happened
Yeah.
a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I watched
Was it last night?
Who got Game of the Year?
A couple days ago, because
Yeah. Game of the Year was Baldur's Gate 3.
That's a lie.
It's not, unfortunately. It won like 5 awards. It was crazy.
you don't believe it.
Pikmin 4 won more awards than Spider-Man 2, which I think is awesome.
What about Tears of the Kingdom, man?
It won 1 award.
That's a travesty.
I know. But
I told him I wasn't surprised that
Yeah.
that Zelda didn't like. It's usually the I don't want to say lesser known because they're very well known within the gaming community, but with the wider audience, they're less known.
There are
It's-
still videos and reels coming out of people like building contraptions.
yeah. It won. It didn't even win
Well-
like puzzle game or like technical anything though. It won like action adventure game, which I definitely thought Spider-Man was going to win.
So have you like seen any of the gameplay for like the Zelda game and know like the powers, like the new powers?
Not really.
So he's got one. It's my favorite power, where he can like, I think it's called Ascend. He like can come up like through the bottom of stuff. You gotta have a flat surface, right? But you could be in a cave and like you'll see a blue spot above you. Activate it and like you'll kind of see him swimming through like this void, and he'll pop out on top of the mountain. And there's this one reel that I love and watch it over and over again. And it's like these poorly animated guys. There's like 2 of them. And they're like hammering this board to the window. And, you know, like that pans around so you see that the door's boarded up, the other window's boarded up. And they're like, that'll keep that little psycho out. And then you just hear this doom, 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 like, and like his like starts to like ascend through the floor, and he's just like grinning at them.
That's funny.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I compared it to the Oscars. Right, the Oscars is the movies.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grammys is music.
Yeah,
Grammys
yeah,
music, yeah.
yeah. Like the Oscars, usually the ones that win are the ones that nobody knows. So that's kind of how I see the video games. So
Well, Baldur's Gate is, I mean, that's super well known though. I mean, because that's
again, but I think that's more with like if you were find a random person and say, "Hey, do you know Zelda or do you know Baldur's Gate?" They're gonna be like, "Oh, I know Zelda." They're not gonna be like, "Yeah, Baldur's Gate, that's my favorite."
yeah, that's at the same world as Skyrim, right?
Right? Yeah, it's not gonna be that. It's like, "Oh, do you know Mario or do you know?"
You an Elder Scrolls fan?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, so that's how I see it.
Yeah. I think it's probably Spider-Man and Zelda were probably not going to win just because they're sequels that like didn't do a whole lot different from the originals. Like they did build on them. And
I'll
expand
say it
them.
again. The Tears of the Kingdom makes Breath of the Wild look like a demo.
Oh yeah, 100%. I just think a lot of people were like, "Oh, they use the same world and engine," and that was like, now for whatever reason, that's
no good.
yeah, that's not enough. Whereas Baldur's Gate built like everything.
All right.
from
Well,
start,
That's because they hadn't come out with a Baldur's Gate game in like 15 years or
yeah.
something.
talk about
we
some of
are.
the other stuff that happened during the game awards.
Jordan Peele is doing a horror game. It
Not
looks
surprising.
yeah, it
They
looked
do like horror movies.
yeah. It looked like a Jordan Peele horror game. Very psychological.
They use an Unreal Engine for that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's that. Anthony Mackie was there, and he was wild. I think he was a little high. Timothy Chalamet announced the game of the year for some reason, and that makes me irrationally angry. He had nothing to do with anything else. Like, at least Anthony Mackie, he was in that Twisted Metal show, which was based on
Is
a
he
game.
a gamer? Is he a known gamer?
Not that I know of.
I think it's just because he's like really popular right now. He's got the Wonka movie that came out. I think he's just out there. You know,
He's trying to make sure he put his face out there.
Yeah.
I think that's all it was.
Now that they can do promotional stuff.
Exactly.
Again, it's like,
They should get some of those guys that play COD. You know,
yeah.
Because Willy Wonka, that's where you want to target your gaming audience for that movie.
Definitely.
you guys like candy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but that's
Yeah.
the only thing I can think of. He's
Yeah.
famous. He's relevant right now.
Yeah. They're probably also like, ooh, he's popular with the younger audience or something.
Yeah, he's hip with those guys.
Yeah.
Except you hate him.
I have nothing against him or for him.
You're like, I nothing you.
If I saw him on the street, I'd just be like, oh, I know that guy. He's in movies.
Yeah, but again, if he was like, hey, let me come on.
So you don't feel about him like I feel about Shaquille O'Neal?
No. Wait, that you could take him in a fight?
No, that he just dislikes him.
I could take
hate his
Timothy
guts,
Chalamet
man.
in a fight.
Have you seen Dune?
Yeah. Look at that kid.
Says the guy spins sticks out there. You know, like,
Oh, well,
Exactly.
that's true. You do have a pretty good stick game.
Yeah.
So,
Look, I'm not saying I got beat him in a fight. What I'm saying is, I think that he cannot catch me if I did run up and punch him in the face.
yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal. He's got bad legs, man.
Got those bad
I got
knees.
good legs.
Yeah.
I'll just punch him. I'll be like, Shaquille O'Neal. And he'll be like, yeah,
Sucker punch.
this is for the general.
It's for that Shazam movie.
Kazam.
Because Shazam is Sinbad.
Shazam is Sinbad.
You know,
I thought that movie was a
it is a Nelson
Mandela
effect.
Mandela effect movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's weird.
This episode is wild.
All right, well, what else on the games?
Anyway, I also found out apparently at Every Game Awards, right before they announced the game of the year.
This was really cool.
Yeah, they get a composer, like an actual legit composer. Hans Zimmer did it one year. Lorne Balfe did it this year. That
Our loser bracket. He's from the loser bracket in the battle. They get all our leftover composers.
yeah, they do a medley of the main theme from every nominee for the game of the year. And
I've heard
with
those.
a live orchestra. There.
Yeah,
like
I've
a
heard
live
the
orchestra.
I've heard the Zelda one.
Yeah.
Was a year or two ago. Yeah, it was
yeah,
really
so the Zelda theme was back for this one. It was really good.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. And then it ends with Spider-Man. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Different Spider-Man, sadly.
good. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Also a Blade game. I just remembered
Oh,
that.
yeah.
By Bethesda.
Oh yeah, that got announced. Yeah.
Yeah. So that looks fun.
Yeah, that'll coincide with the movie coming out.
It's going to come out before
Maybe.
the movie, I guarantee you.
No, it will.
Now, well, here's what it'd be: if the game comes out and it's phenomenal, and then the movie comes out and it's terrible,
Yeah.
you know, who you got to blame then?
Yeah.
Who you got to blame?
Yeah.
Although Disney's shaking it up hardcore, man.
Yeah. We've
Yeah,
got exactly one Marvel movie next year.
And you see who the creative control of all of Star Wars belongs to?
Oh, yeah. We got to talk about that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Because you mentioned it to me already.
Dave Filoni is now the Kevin Feige of Star Wars.
Yeah. Very interesting revelation right there.
I think this is their way of getting rid of Kathleen Kennedy without actually firing her.
I think the most interesting thing was the statement by Iger that said that he wants to put out good stories
Yeah.
and not push a message.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
And because
Fine, thank you.
and we've said it before, like you're an entertainment company, like
Yeah.
you're it's not your job to teach me or anybody morality,
Yeah.
because
this is why we
you're
like
a company.
DreamWorks.
Is it illuminate? No, illuminate.
You don't know what kind of story those birds are going to bring. So
Absolutely.
you can't say nothing.
But yeah, you know you're the clown. You're a clown. Like your job is to entertain me.
Yeah.
Like I don't need you teaching me morality or my daughter like what morality. Like that's my job. Your job is to entertain me, and if it's good enough, I'll give you some of my money.
Right. Yeah, and it's just funny that it took this long because he also said, we've been putting out too much content and we lost the quality. Like, yes,
Thank you.
we said that like the first year that you put out 30 things.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is too much.
The thing is, like, a lot of stuff is already in production, so by the time they do get that,
But a lot of the stuff was in production right now.
Oh yeah.
And that
Well,
they're like, we got to scrap that.
Yeah.
Let's start over.
oh for sure. And you know
So I
like
think those are early enough. in
there's a
production.
reality that there's
the
like-
Wonder
Give it
Man
a shot.
show.
there's saturation and like definitely superhero fatigue. Like come on, man, you put so much out. Like
It's
does
not
anybody want to
superhero
go?
fatigue though?
I think there's.
We've mentioned that, and it's not
Yeah, I
because The Boys is
disagree.
doing great, Invincible is doing
It's
great.
true.
Yeah.
They did a
Guardians did
Gen
great.
V or
Spider
Gen
Verse
5,
did
whatever.
great.
Yeah.
It's just it just depends on whether or not it's garbage
It's
or not.
Yeah.
Marvel and DC specifically
Yeah.
putting out movies and shows that.
Well, and yeah, and I would say you better right the ship because I'm not saying it's going to be perfect or even that it's going to be good, right?
But Sony is taking over.
Well, no, I was just going to say that. Sony. Yeah, unless you want to see Sony vials and everything. No, but the fact that Gunn is
the DC
doing the
head
DC
now,
stuff, like,
and he has a definite plan.
yeah, and he's
talked about.
he's
And this
passionate about what he
Superman
does.
cast
It's stacked.
is shaping up to be so good.
Yeah.
You've got Nicholas Holt is our official
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor now, and I'm so excited.
He's such a good actor.
Yeah, I feel like he's a
Did I
good.
tell you I
mix.
watched Renfield?
Oh, did you? Did you enjoy it?
It was fun.
It was very gory.
It
You
was
know?
fun. Oh, it was.
Yeah,
It was. Yeah.
it was funny though. I enjoyed it.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I'll watch it next Halloween.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right.
lots of fun
Cool.
stuff.
Yeah.
We watched John Wick 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, and 3.
Yes. We're John Wick fans now.
Yeah.
So,
I need to watch them. My mom loves those movies. So,
Yeah. At least watch one of them for next episode.
Okay.
Because
I'll give it a shot.
they're definitely nominated for
they
some
are
stuff.
the first 3 are all free with ads on Peacock right now.
Yeah.
That's
I
how
got
we
Peacock?
watched them.
Well, it's free. Peacock's, you just download the app.
Oh,
You don't need to sign nothing. Just download
I
the app.
gotta give them my soul for a year.
No, it gives you the option when you first open it of signing up. And you just go, maybe later.
Yeah. And then there's like free stuff that you can watch on there with ads.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Well, cool. The hard part is like, what if I like it though? What if I really like it? And I'm like, this needs to be in my library.
You got shit. You got $5.
That's what I'm thinking about genuinely.
What? Paying $5?
Yeah, for just to have the John Wick movies.
Paying $5 to have the John Wick movies?
Paying something, however much they are.
You mean buying the
Yes.
movies? Okay.
Yeah, you gotta describe, like, be more descriptive, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm aware.
You could have been talking about Legos for all we know. You
Might
see
talk
that John
about
Wick
this.
Lego?
No, it's too violent against their child policy.
I'm
Well,
sure you could find the parts to make a John
No,
Wick.
Yeah.
you can find the custom builders,
Yeah.
and they'll make some if they haven't already.
I mean, it's just a guy with a suit.
Right.
Wearing...
He's got some pretty decent action figures out there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
John Wick?
Yeah. You know who else has a really
Yeah, I just
decent action
saw-
figure?
Huh? The Mask?
Waldo from Where's Waldo?
Oh yeah, that sounds like a fun.
I'm not even joking.
There's this
He's got a
thing.
6-inch, fully articulated.
Uh-huh.
Where's what? And this is, I know this is dumb. It's really expensive. Otherwise, I would already have it. But I'm like, I want to get that and then just have
hide
him
him.
somewhere, you know.
Just all the time.
But I,
Just have
you
it go
know,
put him
looking
on
for
the
him.
shelf.
I'd be dumb. I
Instead
would
of
like,
the elf?
I would not. I would forget. You know, and like 3 years later, be like, oh, there's that Waldo.
There's Waldo.
I found him. Yeah, that works perfect. Do we have something else before
I
we have
have
battle?
one more.
Okay.
Very important announcement.
Okay.
This is like 2 episodes.
All right.
It's gonna be heavily edited.
What is this one thing that you have?
Okay, so earlier this year, I didn't know about this until recently when I did research. Phil Lord and Chris Miller did an interview right after Spider-Verse came out, and they were asked what their next movie is going to be. Their answer was not the third Spider-Verse,
Uh-huh.
but was in fact a live-action Project Hail Mary.
Oh, you've got me.
I don't know what that is.
So last year, the best book I read was Project Hail Mary.
Oh, you told me about this.
He's the
I
guy that
just
he's the guy that
finished
wrote The
it.
Martian. And so I did you buy it or did I get you a copy?
You got
I think
yeah.
you got it.
Okay,
for
so I got him a copy. He just finished it like last week before, something like
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And
one of the best things possibly the best thing I've read this
like
year.
Yeah.
I read some really
Stormlight,
good books
too.
Yeah,
last
yeah, I
year.
remember you saying that.
I read some really good books last year, but like if I was to compose a list of like my 5 all-time favorite books right now, Project Hail Mary is
It's
on
in there?
Yeah.
What's so anybody that doesn't know Project Hail Mary like me, give a rundown of what that story is.
Okay.
All right,
We're gonna have to avoid.
yeah,
some
I'm gonna
stuff.
spoiler
Yeah,
free.
just give,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Just give the idea of it.
Guy wakes up on a highly advanced spaceship. He's from Earth.
Mm-hmm.
He has no idea how he got there, why he's there, and so over a series of time, he starts to regain his memory, and remembers that the reason he's on this ship is because there's a problem with the Earth's sun. And they had to, all the countries in the world had to come together to put together a plan, Project Hail Mary, to figure out, one, what the problem is, and if possible, find a solution. And so it's a combination of this guy working through the problem and trying to come to a solution, maybe something that will help, but also him remembering,
trying to figure out why
how he got there, why he's the only one that's still alive, because when he wakes up, he's not. There are 2 other beds in the ship, and both of them have dead bodies.
So it's got some interstellar-ish type of...
It is It deals some time dilation
so good,
stuff.
and it's crazy.
But I mean, that's the idea with Interstellar too. They're trying to find,
It was like Interstellar, but like written the vision of a single person instead of an entire crew. So it's much more cohesive altogether.
And the thing that I think that he appreciated, that TallBeing here appreciated, and I also, I mean, you reach a point where like maybe it's halfway through the book, and you're like, okay, we've got enough of the revelations, like everything makes sense, like we're doing it, and then you get a couple more like later in the book that like
it
redefines kind of everything that you've experienced in the book, and you're like, whoa.
I read this book so much faster than I would have read any other book because of how well written and paced
it was just easy to read.
Just from the first chapter, man. When it first starts,
it hooks you.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, I've got to know what's going on. And the way that he transitions from like the his present to the past, remembering, even from the very beginning, is so compelling and such an exciting.
Well, you guys are definitely hyping it up, so I look forward to seeing the trailer. And then reading the subtitles while I watch the movie. So that's gonna be fun.
There's gonna be subtitles.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Oh yeah, there's lots of.
Okay. Well, cool.
I'm not gonna spoil that part.
All right, Project Hail Mary coming 2027 or something like that, probably.
Yeah.
All right. Well, are we ready now?
Yeah, now we're ready.
Get into the main event. Yeah.
Yeah.
We sure? We good?
Pretty sure.
All
We're
right.
never ready.
Well,
an hour later,
let's
finally do this.
The main event, the tale of the tape of the Grinch. So it's the how the Grinch
Stole Christmas.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey. Came out in 2000.
Yeah, I think it's 2000.
This is a pre 9/11 movie.
Rated,
Ron Howard.
Yeah, it's rated PG. An hour 44 minutes. Directed by Ron Howard. Yeah. Stars Jim Carrey and Taylor Momsen? Yeah. Music was done by Howard Shore.
What? No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Who was it?
James Horner.
James Horner. Why do I have Howard Shore?
I have no idea.
Yeah, James Horner.
Same person.
Well, so James Horner, Howard Shore, James Newton Howard.
Yeah.
Like those guys, it's like Tyler Bates.
James Powell.
No, I don't confuse him. Yes, so James Horner did the music of this movie. And that's going up against The Grinch that came out in 2018. Also rated PG, an hour and 30 minutes.
Illumination.
Animated version. And it stars Benedict Cumberbatch. And the music
Pharrell
was this
Williams.
one. Yeah, Pharrell Williams was.
Oh, yeah. Is music a category in this one?
Yeah, Danny Elfman did the music on this one. So. There you go. That is the comparison. Let's get into the categories.
All right.
This is going to be spectacular.
Did that one guy, like the composer or something, wasn't he also involved in the music?
Which one guy?
For the Grinch.
Both of them are the Grinch. Which one?
The newer one.
Oh, Danny Elfman?
No, something. His name is something. The composer. I can't remember.
Huh?
I don't know what.
Oh, it's not Tyler the Creator.
Oh yeah.
Because
he did that. He did like the main Grinch song.
A couple of them.
Yeah.
I think he was like highly invested in this.
Really?
Yeah, I think him and Pharrell.
Well, Pharrell did the narration.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Let's get. Do we have the narration?
Oh, no. We do now.
Okay. We'll start off with the narration. In case you guys don't know, How the Grinch Stole Christmas is based off of Dr. Seuss, his story. There was a great animated story.
Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. There was a great animated version that came out that was only like 45 minutes long. Huh?
That was a joke.
I know.
Yeah, he wasn't an actual doctor.
Yeah. He just
he was given an honorary doctorate. So he said that now he's gonna have to call himself Dr. Seuss.
I understood. I was trying to move past it.
It's important to the story.
So
Anyway.
we know that information now.
It'll come up later, I promise.
Okay. All right.
This is Chekhov's gun.
Yeah. All right. So narration, right?
Yeah.
We'll start off with that.
Let's start.
I got a vote already.
Okay.
I didn't feel it was necessary in the second movie.
To do the narration?
Yeah, the
It's
Grinch.
just there because that's
Because that one's called The Grinch, right?
Yes.
And the other one's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Right.
So I'm going to call it Grinch or How.
Okay. All right.
Right? I didn't feel like Grinch needed it
Uh-huh.
because they're just going through the story anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't think they were going through the story and how?
I mean,
It felt more like telling a story,
Mm.
and than like seeing a story, if that makes sense.
It
Yeah.
does not?
yeah, there's for some in my head it works differently. Like,
Which is weird since that's the live action one too. Like you
Well,
would think it would.
so
be
I think you can go ahead and give points to how anyway, because I also didn't like the narration in the second one.
yeah, and that's why I'm saying not only did it feel unnecessary, but it was just worse.
Yeah.
Plus, it was what's his name, Anthony Hopkins, who was just
Yes. That
born
was
to be a narrator. I would listen
that
to
was
him narrate
Okay.
anything.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That movie was stacked also
Yes.
with the cast. I mean, Anthony Hopkins as the narrator, like what in the world?
Yeah.
Jim Carrey.
What's his name from Arrested Development? the dad. He's the mayor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't remember
What's
his
that
name.
guy's name?
I think it's Howard something maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's not Howard something.
No?
Okay.
Don? Is it Don?
No, it's
I think
not
it's
Don.
Oh, I was just making that up.
He's also the
Shot it.
the voice of the in the first Trolls movie, the dad.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Not anymore because
They changed him?
he got canceled.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, was it because of the Grinch movie? 'Cause
No,
should have
no.
been. So
I'll look it up.
okay. So that dude again, Taylor Monson, which she's actually a big rock star now. She's part of the lead singer for the Pretty Reckless, which is a great rock band. This was her first role.
Jeffrey Tambor.
Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was close.
Oh, and don't forget Kelly played Max.
Oh. Good, Kelly.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have a Max category too.
Yeah.
And the music being done by James Horner, directed by Ron Howard, like it was a lot of good things in this movie.
Yeah, it
I
had
don't know
potential.
I don't know if we want to get into it already, but
We'll get to it in a second.
okay.
Yeah, so my vote for narrator,
Anthony Hopkins.
How?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also go How.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, Pharrell, come on, man.
Yeah. I need
not a good
to
narrator.
write down.
Yeah. You wanna put the computer right here?
Yeah.
We don't got pen and paper with
No.
with Hayden gone.
Yeah.
We miss you, Hayden. Wait, what did he call himself Hayden when he was here?
Yes.
Oh, okay, just making sure. I want to like blow his identity over here.
It's 3 for How?
Yes. 3 for how.
Is that how you voted too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Surprising.
That's easy. Let's go.
I mean, I'm not like a huge Pharrell fan.
I always hear you singing that happy song.
No, it's not that song. It's the Daft Punk one.
song, yeah.
Mm.
I liked him in Random Access Memories. But beyond that. This is the second Illumination movie that Pharrell Williams has major connections to.
Yeah. No, Pharrell is into Illumination.
I think he like owns part of the company.
I don't know about that, but
The company owns part of him.
I could see that.
Yeah, that's much more likely.
Anyway,
They're the ones that keep
I mean,
buying
they
those
pay
big
him. They
stupid
pay
hats.
him for sure to do a lot of music.
They're the ones that buy him those big dumb hats that he wears.
Yeah. That's the Yogi Bear.
Like, why you? Never mind.
anyway,
Okay,
Talk about things that irrationally make me angry.
next category.
next category. All right, we're just going straight into this now.
Uh-huh.
Best Grinch. We're gonna go visually and performance-wise
Okay, all right.
for this Grinch.
This is hard for me
Yeah, me too.
because Jim Carrey terrified me.
Okay.
Like he was like legitimately
That's the way
scary.
I thought you were gonna go.
But also, check it out. I don't feel like the Grinch needs to be a compelling, like, his heart is shrunken tiny. Like that's fine. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
And we get mention of that in the Grinch, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
I
it's
don't-
never like
I don't need him to be a just down on his luck. Like I want to I just didn't need that. And so like I don't know. I think my vote goes to The Grinch. Because at times Jim Carrey is Jim Carrey's like way over the top.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. He just not as bad as Drummer Guy, right? But I was just like, why? This is too much. It's too much for The Grinch.
Mm-hmm. I think I agree also.
Another for Grinch?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Grinch. Because I don't think he should have been that scary. It was a kid's movie, supposedly. Like, there was a lot about this movie that was like, is this a kid's movie?
Yeah, like how dark it is. Like
it's
Like
dark.
visually dark, yeah.
Yeah, that's like I don't know if that's on the thing, but like Grinch like is bright and like colorful and like
The idea of like he is totally heartbroken, and like that's why he's like that's why are you telling kids that?
he's been traumatized.
Yeah.
The weird angles throughout the whole movie that like
We'll
for
get to
kids,
that. We'll get to that.
You're like, what am I watching here?
I think those are supposed to express the zaniness.
No, it is. I'm almost 100% sure that's what it was
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
I think Ron Howard missed, which is so crazy. Like Ron Howard's a good director, and I think he was trying something.
I've heard that Jim Carrey was like exceptionally hard to work with on this.
I don't believe that.
Because
I mean, he did have to withstand torture.
Yeah,
Actual torture to
they
put
had to
that
like
suit on.
he had to have training to like withstand torture because the suit was like so uncomfortable and it took him like 5 hours or something to do it. And so there were times where he would just like disappear, and when he would finally come back, like stuff would just be trashed and torn up.
Well, I guess if that's true, then that didn't help any. But I don't know that really did anything for like those weird angles or the actual look of the movie.
That's a directorial decision.
Yeah, like the cinematography of it. That
We're
had
not
nothing
there
to do
yet.
with
We're not there
Jim Carrey. What were we on?
The Grinch.
How I got on that?
We're on the
The
Grinch.
Grinch.
Okay. Yes. So Benedict wins.
Okay.
You know what's? Can I just one note real quick? It sounded
Of course,
like
that's what we do.
it was funny because it sounded like Benedict's voice, like vocally, he was trying to be like Jim Carrey. Like, he was trying to match his sound.
So we did mention that, like when we watched it, that you couldn't really tell it was Benedict doing that voice.
It sounded
He
like
was doing
the Grinch.
a voice.
Yeah. Like, that is the voice I kind of hear when I think of a Grinch voice.
Yeah, it was a good
A
voice.
bit more cartoony, but like it worked for the movie.
Yeah, I mean it was a cartoon.
Yeah. So my vote is undecided. I'm gonna need a little help with this one
Okay.
because on the one hand, I think Jim Carrey cast as the Grinch. I think is one of those castings that is like John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, where everyone thinks
Jack Black is Bowser.
No, more Jack Black is Mario kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like everyone thinks
that's
in
a
theory,
perfect one.
Yeah, everyone thinks like that would be perfect. We want to see that, and then we see John Krasinski in Multiverse of Madness, and it's like, oh,
That was wrong.
never mind.
That was wrong.
Yeah,
Bring on Pedro.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I feel about Jim Carrey. We think it'll be a good idea. You say Jim Carrey as the Grinch, and you think, oh, that's perfect,
Right.
and then you see it.
And then
like,
it was not.
yeah, this doesn't feel like the Grinch. It feels like an even more exaggerated Jim Carrey.
You're like, did Ace Ventura fall into a bin of green hair?
So
Yeah.
what is the problem then? How are you not choosing?
Because I also don't love Benedict Cumberbatch Grinch.
Okay.
He also, like, his voice sounds Grinchy, and I really like the voice he did, but everything else about him I didn't love. Because I feel like
What didn't you love, like specifically?
what I liked about Jim Carrey Grinch was that book-wise, because we got to go back to that as a reference point,
Uh-huh.
Grinch is not a lovable guy.
Yeah.
He is evil and crooked and has a heart that's 3 sizes too small. And Jim Carrey's Grinch is that. Whereas Benedict Cumberbatch is more misunderstood. He's way more sympathetic because we need to for a kids animated movie. We can't have him do crimes except, steal Christmas. But
No, he did some fun. Like at the beginning, he like pulls down that thing
Yeah.
and hands it to that guy, and the guy goes flying. Like that was hilarious, man.
yes, but even then he's like There's still like a funness to it, whereas Jim Carrey is full on. He's a mean one. He's mean spirited.
Yeah, but he's terrifying.
Yeah, exactly.
I
and
think
it's
that's
not
the difference.
fun.
Right. I think that's the difference is that he goes from he's supposed to be mean to he's just plain scary. Like
I can't get behind
he's
it.
almost like he could be the character in one of those B sci-fi movies.
Like sometimes at night,
like
when
Krampus, but it's Jim Carrey, and I would be like,
yeah,
turn this.
Sometimes like when I'm having a night, like I'll see the like dead eyes of those kids on that train from the Polar Express, and like transition very quickly to Jim Carrey as the Grinch.
Yeah.
You know? It's that bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference there, and I think mainly that is why I go with Benedict.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not him. It's the story of how they wrote him there. But I would rather watch that one than Wild, Scary.
Yeah. But on the other hand, I think Jim Carrey also somehow managed to look more like the Grinch in cartoon Grinch. And cartoon Grinch was animated.
Okay.
Which means I feel like he should have looked a lot more like the Grinch. Instead, he just looks like hairy human that's green.
Yeah. Because that's another category, right? The one that actually looks more like the Grinch.
No, I'm including that as part of this.
Oh, okay.
I feel like
Well, yes, Jim Carrey definitely looks.
That one's hard for me because I feel like you can't separate the look of everything else from how the Grinch looks. Yeah. And if we're talking about the looks of things, I like the look of the Grinch better than how, because it is brighter and like you get from Whoville, like, oh, this is a happy place and people here are excited about life. And then you got Grinch, who is definitely markedly different because he's green and he's not all. And then you've got How, which is dark and terrifying. And oh my gosh, the Whovians, like every last one of them is disgusting looking.
Except for Taylor.
So yeah.
And that was a funny thing because we were watching with Elle, and she was like, why is she the only one that looks human? Like, she pointed it out. Like, why does everybody else look like, but she's
if
the
a
only
kid
one
can recognize it, come on. And she's what, 4 still?
She's 4. Yeah. Anyway, wait, did we just choose Jim Carrey then?
No, I'm still against the whole look of all.
Because he's still too scary.
It's still
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to How.
Okay. All right.
I just like it a little more personally.
That's fine. I think we had some good points for and against.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Next category.
All right, next category. We're sticking with the Grinch because the original book is very short, yeah, and it's to the point, you know.
Yeah.
You have the Grinch. He's on the mountain. He doesn't like Christmas, so he goes and steals it.
Mm-hmm.
The movies, to fill up the runtime, do have to pad that out a little more,
right?
And they do so by expanding
the lore.
ping meter, the lore, and the backstory of the Grinch.
Right.
So which of the two did that better?
Okay, I'm gonna go with Jim Carrey.
Okay,
it's because what I mentioned earlier of like his heartbreaking, and like that's what turns him, and then the mayor, who wasn't the mayor at the time, making fun of him and bullying him, and then that's what makes him hate Christmas because he associates that. Plus, he's an orphan there, right?
Yeah.
So like he's this outcast, and all these things are happening to him. Like I think that's a pretty good backstory, and like when you associate that with Christmas, then you don't want anything to do with it. So that works for me.
That, and then the fact that I think it's also closer to what we were talking about earlier with the original intent by Dr. Seuss of what the Grinch book was going to be, of like an actual fight against Christmas consumerism.
Right.
And he goes on a rampage because of it in the middle of the movie, and it's the best part of the entire thing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably give it to How as well, because like there's a point in The Grinch where it just comes to a grinding halt.
Yeah.
Right? And you're just like, I mean, it just feels like nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Is it when they're explaining the story?
Because, you just hit that middle point where like he's I guess he decided to take action, and
but now he's preparing for it.
Yeah, and all that. I mean, it's just it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
It doesn't progress the story at all. Like
it's just filler.
It is just filler, yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's actually 10 15 minutes shorter than the live action one.
Yeah, which is
And
very long.
Yeah.
For a Grinch movie, yeah.
Yeah, and it still has all this fill time that they need to put in there.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I'm also going Hal.
Okay.
It's the same reasoning.
I still don't think that he
really
needed all the
interesting.
backstory. Like, I still
I didn't need
because
it.
he's so, like some people are just grumpy people, and that's fine.
Yeah, I was fine with. We were all fine with just his heart's 3 sizes too small. That's how it works.
Right, but the problem would be like, well, how do you make it to feature length and not be another 45-minute piece?
Plus, I think that he kind of hit on the Grinch, like the cartoon. Like, if his heart's 3 sizes too small, like it really doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, three more for Hal.
Yeah. I just think
put those down already.
I did. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I also think it's interesting. I just want to note. I noted this when we were watching them. How much inspiration the Grinch took from Hal. For his backstory and the actual structure of the story of he goes down into Whoville for the first time. Stuff goes really badly for him. Mm-hmm. Then he comes back, and now he's gonna steal Christmas.
Yeah, I think that
it felt almost more like a remake of that than an adaptation of the original book.
Right, and I think it's
from a storytelling standpoint, like it's kind of necessary. Like you got to establish the characters and the setting. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Right. And
it's just really interesting how similar ended up being.
Right, but I think part of it was too they were trying to keep a same lore for him the whole time. That way, when you always think of the Grinch, you kind of know oh yeah, he was an orphan and that's his basic backstory now. So they didn't want to change that too much. So I think that was part of it. And since the Grinch was Hal was so dark and so scary, they're just well, they probably thought it was a pretty good story. It was fine enough.
Yeah.
And they're let's just take that story, but make it more kiddie. Mm-hmm. And so that's what they did.
Yeah, they were let's keep the things that worked.
Yeah. Yeah. And then let's make it brighter and happier and add Pharrell in there. It's going to be awesome. So.
And I don't know if this is on the thing, but the actual design for Whoville is way better than any of the stuff Illumination has given us to this point.
Mario.
Well, Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Mario's the shining
beacon lighthouse.
Yeah, but they're Mario with everything else, Nintendo is going to have a very
large hand in it.
Yeah, because there's things that are non-negotiable for them.
Oh yeah, I want to say it was a producer for the Zelda movie started talking about it now that they announced it, and they wanted to very specifically clarify, despite it being live action, it's not going to be Lord of the Ringsy. They want it to be more of a live action Ghibli film.
Oh, okay.
So, which is
good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting
that's the very
level
that's the
that they want.
made.
Yeah. I don't know that he should have done that.
Yeah,
because that sets him up for failure. We watched,
especially with Ghibli coming out with a new movie. You got to watch it?
Yeah.
That's fun. You guys enjoy it?
Yeah, Ellie really liked it. I thought it was cool. I watched it. I was tired. I zoned out a couple of times, but it was good.
Anyway, yeah. So. Lore and backstory. Got that done now.
So that was
all for Hal.
Okay.
It's got a clear leader already.
Yeah.
Well, from there, Cindy Lou Who.
Okay.
Which one did her better? It's Grinch. It's Grinch. The old one was fine. The new one was better. That's all I have.
There's nothing specific that was better.
The whole, she
had way more character.
Yeah, she has more character, and the whole she sees something in the Grinch that no one else sees.
The hard part is I feel like in How there's a lot more interaction. Yeah. To justify. Him making the change at the end.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I feel like she wasn't really in it in the Grinch. Mm-hmm. She was more of a character in How, and and she shows us her vocal prowess in that movie. You know,
it's hard too because like
overhyped Christmas song. I'm gonna say it. Most overhyped Christmas song.
What, the song she sings?
Yeah.
What is it? Where are you, Christmas?
100%.
I'm just saying it's tough because
I've never heard that song, so I don't think
I
it's
hear
overhyped.
it too often.
I would say I've never ever heard that song
Yeah.
outside of that movie.
Yeah, that one and probably like what's that Bell song? Not Jingle Bells, obviously. Silver Bells.
Silver.
I don't hear that song very much.
Really.
Yeah,
I hear that one. Okay.
but also I don't listen to Christmas music that much.
Yeah.
because he's a Grinch.
Look, I am. If there's one character I could relate to, if there's one thing I could relate to about these movies, I am the Grinch. Yeah. That's me. Like I just, Christmas is just. Look, I'm not into the consumer part of Christmas, and that's what the majority of it, and that's what the Grinch is. I connect with him in that sense.
Yeah. No, I love gift giving.
The whole gift giving part, and do it whenever.
So back to the City Luhu thing.
Okay.
I think it's tough because really, like, are we basing the response on how she progresses the story? Because if that's the case, how did it better? Or are we basing it on how better characterized she was? And if that's the case, then it's on the Grinch. Because she was like a more fun, fleshed out, like.
I would say it's gotta be that one. Because if we're just like, which one moved the story along better, then I can think of so many examples of really bad characters, but they moved the story along. Like.
But we can't take both into account.
We can take
and
the
combine
argument
them.
of like you don't like Harry Osborn in Spider-Man 2, that's but true. He was a major player in the story.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Honestly, in both of them.
Yeah.
I still like Franco better.
Because another thing about Harry Osborn.
No, we spent an episode on that already. We can't go back.
No, we're not going to talk about Harry Osborn. I think I still like Hal better. Maybe because it's Taylor Munson.
I might give it to the Grinch.
Yeah, I'm also giving it to Grinch.
Really, it's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah.
But
2 versus 1 says otherwise.
All right. Max, the dog.
Yay! It's my favorite. This was the best character in the movie.
Yeah. And it's got to go to Hal.
It's Hal.
That's an actual dog? What'd you say his name was?
There was also some puppetry.
Oh, Kelly.
Kelly, yeah.
There was also some puppetry.
Oh, like when they threw him? Use real Kelly for that?
Yeah, but also like there's like
a stunt double.
There's a scene where he's like dragging his bottom.
Yeah.
That's I think that's puppetry. Like there's some scenes that just required the puppet instead of the dog. But yeah, I agree.
How?
Because like I feel like Max was kind of non-existent in the Grinch. They were like, oh, we got a yak instead.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know why he threw it.
Well, at the beginning, he kind of started off the introduction to the Grinch.
But I feel like...
And I thought it was cute, like, how they showed the Grinch's progression through Max.
Yeah.
Where, he'd take him coffee, he would be happy about it, and then, like, all of a sudden he wasn't there by the end because he was out doing Christmas stuff or whatever. Yeah. And he's like, where'd he go?
I feel like I feel like they wanted to like get away from like the original animated so bad, in both cases, that they had to like minimize Max's relationship with the story, because like he's a much bigger catalyst
in the book.
Just in that original cartoon, I thought.
I don't remember how much of a part he has in.
Now that I'm saying that, I'm like, I don't remember.
I know he's in it, but I don't remember.
Yeah. It might be because it's a shorter watch that he's just in more scenes.
That's true.
And it feels like he's in the whole thing because he kind of is.
Yeah.
But Max from Hal was he was good.
Yeah. All right. Well, which one better used the rhyming nature of Dr. Seuss style?
Oh, there was rhyming?
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah, so Jim Carrey actually points it out.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, I'm rhyming now.
It's a thing he tries to avoid.
Yeah.
Which I thought was that's a good way to incorporate it.
Yeah, I thought that was fun. Did Benedict's Grinch rhyme at all?
He did. Yeah.
At the end?
Yeah. The rhyming in The Grinch was more integrated into how they actually talked a lot of the time.
Yes.
Whereas with How, it was more just the narration most of the time.
Yeah. And what's the actual category?
Which one better used it?
Better used it?
Yeah.
I think nodding at it is not using it.
Yeah. So I think it has to go with the Grinch.
Because that's like winking at something is not the same as like actually doing that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree. I mean,
I like that they actually did it. It was fun.
Yeah, and he rhymed more at the end of the movie. Jim Carrey did when he was like his heart's exploding. Now he's like into rhyming.
Yeah.
I guess that's what happens.
In this world, yeah.
Yeah.
rhyming and crying, man.
Yeah. You write poetry, right?
Yeah.
And then you sob.
Yeah. All right.
Sticking kind of with that now, design-wise, which one feels more like Dr. Seuss? Like with the design of the world?
As a whole, then.
Yeah, the design of the world, how they frame it.
So listen, for me, it was really easy. It's the Grinch. Because again, like everything about Whoville is supposed to be like bright, excited, we're happy for Christmas, and we get that. And again, this is probably the best like town design. Like the town actually has character compared to other Illumination works. The Grinch stuff, like it's there, and I'm sure, but like when I see it, one, it's very dark, very dark. But two, when you look at it, you're like, oh, we're definitely in a building. This is in like on a set. Like, whereas with the Grinch, like, I mean, it's still, I know it's animated, but like you feel like it's open, it's outside, and it's a whole world, not just
a little
this
space. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree to you. The Grinch has overall the better world. And again, it's weird because Ron Howard, I mean, I don't know that he's done anything like this before, though.
Maybe he like called his buddy and was like, "Hey, Tim Burton."
It felt Tim Burton.
It did, yeah.
So I wouldn't.
That was like my immediate thought. I was like, "What? This is like
Tim Burton's
the Grinch." Yeah, the Grinch as imagined by Tim Burton.
Yeah, I don't know if he had anything to do with it. I wouldn't be surprised though. Yeah. But I feel like it was Ron Howard just trying to like do this kids movie with big sets and props, and you know, he's not Tim Burton, so he couldn't capture that charm that Tim Burton has. Yeah. And like I said, I don't think he's ever done any kids type stuff like American Graffiti. I mean, aside from being a kid in Andy Griffith, like he hadn't done anything like that.
That's true.
So, all right. Well,
I'm giving it to Hal.
What?
Yeah. Listen,
what's wrong with you, man?
Did you not hear what we just said?
Yes. And my counter argument is, nuh-uh.
Prove it.
He doesn't have to with that argument.
I just felt like with the animated one, most of the time, it felt like an Illumination movie with some Dr. Seuss flavor, whereas Hal really felt like a Dr. Seuss style movie.
If it was a horror movie.
Yeah, maybe.
And also if Tim Burton did it, not Dr. Seuss.
Maybe, but I preferred that over the strange plasticky corporate of the Dr. Seuss image they're trying to give off. Like Grinch. The Lorax, I think that's a great animated. The Horton Hears a Who, those are both great animated.
Who did those movies?
Lorax is also Illumination, and Horton Hears a Who was
Sony.
I think is
whatever. It was Blue Sky.
Yeah, it was like whatever the Fox group was.
Yeah, I think that's Blue Sky.
Okay. Those are great Dr. Seuss animated things. I don't
think the Grinch was far from that.
It didn't. Maybe it was just me. It did not. Feel like
it's just you.
Well, maybe the audience agrees.
Well, you let us know.
I'll point out again that, like, I think that the Grinch's cave was pretty good because it actually felt like a cave where it did not in the Grinch.
Yeah.
But Whoville, which is iconically Dr. Seuss, did not feel alive. Did not feel like a Whoville celebration of Christmas. Like, it was just dark and weird stuff in weird places, right? And again, like it didn't feel like it was in this greater world and that it could actually exist. It felt like this is a stage. Don't touch anything too hard or
Right.
collapse on you, you know?
Yeah. And that's why I said overall, you know, thinking of it overall, because the cave was good. I like the cave. I actually like a lot of his antics in the cave where he's like, I just thought it was so funny when he's talking to himself the whole time in the cave. Like, and then to have Cindy Lou walk in on him when he's like, has his head down and he's getting banged in the head. I thought that, like, that idea is so funny. Like, because he just does this all the time. Like, just throws stuff on himself, puts stuff in his ears, and like screams.
That was good directing. The way it makes you like really, like, you don't think about it too much until an outside perspective comes in and you see it from her point of view, and it's just him in the corner.
That was probably one of my favorite things from that movie is like his antics in that cave where he's just
what's
just
the
to think of it, like, because I think of myself sometimes I'll walk in and nobody's here, and then I'll like say something to the dog that, like, you know, nobody's gonna hear me say something to the dog, but if somebody comes in, they're gonna be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, and that's what Cindy Lou did, and I just think that's so funny.
What's the line when he's like trying to convince himself
Grinch
not to go to the town party?
Oh yeah, when he's like, yes I will. No, I won't.
Yeah, if he's like naming off his schedule.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, solve world hunger? Tell no one.
Right.
Best line.
That was a good one. We got to put that one in the nominations for best lines.
That's a good one.
Anyway, the cave was good, but overall, like I said, the Whoville town just didn't work. And that was pretty much it. It's like you didn't even get really a journey to and from. And you kind of got more of that in the Grinch. So,
yeah. I'm still giving it to Hal.
Okay.
I accept your argument.
All right. Next category.
Yeah. All right. Best use of Christmas music. Just actual Christmas music in these movies.
Okay. I'm trying to think of the music that was in. The only one I can remember is Cindy Lou singing. Was there something during the parade that they were playing something during the parade? Was there a parade?
Maybe.
Am I making that up?
At the beginning, there's something at the beginning because there's the guy with the horn and like another little horn comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they do the same sort of like alarm clock thing in both movies, where it starts playing Christmas music, and he like,
why would he have Christmas music on?
These are the questions.
It's the radio, man.
Was it the radio?
Yeah,
is that what he did?
You know, sometimes like the radio comes on, and you know, and you're just
you
don't
can't
control that.
Yeah.
Like it's cold out there. It's cold out there every day.
Yeah. I don't know that I'm gonna give points to either of them, then, because I don't remember the Christmas music at all.
That's fair. Also, The Grinch had that one scene with the pentatonic song. He's like getting chased by the carolers.
Oh, that scene's hilarious.
That was funny
because they just keep popping out the door and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
How intense that song is.
Oh yeah, you got me. I'm gonna give it to the Grinch.
I want to give it to Grinch.
I had forgotten all about that scene.
Yeah, that was a funny scene because I remember watching that, and I think we said something about it. So.
And that's where I was like, I'm feeling Whoville.
Yeah.
Right? Because he like goes under that archway, and and it just felt like this is an actual town where there are like little
weird stuff,
cubbies and nooks and places you can go to.
Yeah, because that's how the Whovillians, Whovillians, they're like that. They're like quirky and weird. But I'm still I'm a no point on it because I don't like that pentatonic song. Was it Pentatonics?
I think so. It might not have been.
I wouldn't be surprised with Pharrell and Tyler the Creator being part of it.
Yeah.
If Pentatonics was in there. Yeah.
All right. Also staying with music, the score. One of them is done by Danny Elfman, and it's not the one I would have thought would be the one done by Danny Elfman.
But why? Because it looks like a Tim Burton movie, and Danny Elfman does the Tim Burton. Like, yeah.
He's got a point.
Yeah.
And that goes back to, when we're talking about the best whatever that you just wouldn't change your mind on.
Yeah, I'm changing.
But yes, Danny Elfman does the Grinch. James Horner
does
James Newton Howard.
James Horner.
Howard Shore.
He gets mixed up.
Okay, Tyler Bates.
James Horner.
Yes.
Did Hal. Who goes first on this one? I'm not sure on this one either.
I'm gonna go with How.
How?
Yeah. Like, maybe the town didn't feel quite alive, but I liked the music.
Yeah.
It had some Grinchy vibes to it.
What do you say?
I think I'm gonna stay on this one.
To who?
I'm not like super
I'm
strong
not gonna
either. I'm not super strong
have,
either one.
Oh, you're not going. You're not voting.
Yeah, I don't have a leaning. Man. I'm
Okay.
abstaining.
I knew going in that Danny Elfman did the new one, and so I was like, okay, I don't remember the music very well, but
Christmas, Elf,
What?
Elfman.
Oh,
Christmas
didn't get
movie?
it.
yeah. You think that's why?
God.
That was a selling point.
One
Danny,
reason.
come on, bro.
You're an elf.
Elf, come on.
Man.
Yeah, maybe that was the selling point, and he's like, okay, I got to do it then.
Anyway.
I think I'm with you, man. I think we've had some movies where they're just bad movies, right? Mm-hmm. And we will trash talk them. I don't think these are there.
They're just kind of, I don't want to watch. I don't want to put any more energy into watching these again.
The feelings aren't so strong either way on some of these things.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with not voting on some.
I'm also not super strong on this. I just knew going in Danny Elfman did the music for the new one. So I was hoping for some very Danny Elfman feeling music.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I was like,
The hard part is like
just sounds like music most of the time.
The creator stuff like is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Right, like that. And it fits. It fits the theme even.
Yeah.
Right. But again, I don't have.
Yeah. There's nothing that really stands out on
Yeah.
either one, but there's nothing that really brings it down either.
Yeah, I got like no skin in the game.
Mm-hmm. So I'm a no vote on this one too.
All right.
I don't know,
Well,
a vote. Vote for give each a point. I don't care.
yeah, it doesn't matter either.
Okay.
I'm just not going to give points.
Yeah, you guys help us out on that too.
Yeah. All right. We're near the end now.
Okay.
So which
We're
one?
in the end game, folks.
Who? That's that guy from a movie.
Oh yeah.
Which one had the best actual stealing of Christmas? 'Cause that is in the title
That's the
of one of
main
these.
thing of the movie.
Yeah.
He steals Christmas. Well, it's in the main title of one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious. Like to have no knowledge of the Grinch, what the Grinch is, and like go to the Grinch and be like, he's gonna steal Christmas.
How's that work?
That'd be funny. I had no idea what this movie was about. Have you seen this movie? This dude stole Christmas.
Yeah.
And then they just sang.
So this is the hard part because, like, remember I mentioned that grinding halt that the Grinch comes to. Mm-hmm. I think that is really going to hurt the Grinch in this regard, right?
When do you say was that stop?
When he just starts planning or whatever to
Like when he
after he
decides
comes
to
back
steal.
from
he decides
town.
he's going to steal. Yeah, he decides he's going to steal Christmas, and you've got to go through the motions of him like planning it and prepping or whatever, and it just doesn't nothing's moving, nothing's happening. They're just padding the movie time, the runtime, and I think that in the long run, like it hurts the movie. It hurts him actually stealing Christmas because you get to see him be a bumbling fool, right? Jim Carrey, like, I mean, he just does it, man. It's hilarious. He's got cool gadgets and stuff.
Yeah.
It goes back to like his. You can see him utilizing the things in his cave, right? Like he's a weird like.
He's some kind of inventor.
Yeah, and you get to see that in action. So I feel like if I have to give a vote on it, that's probably gonna be How.
What is that deal called when you like?
It's a vacuum.
No, when you push something and then it all like continues and ultimately like
Conveyor belt?
no,
No,
like you got a ball, push the ball, it rolls down, hits something, and goes and then like it lifts up.
A chain reaction.
It's a chain reaction, but it's got a name, like that actual process.
A contraption.
Oh my!
You talking about in movies?
Mechanism.
No, it's
just
the thing he mentioned earlier. Chekhov's gun, man.
No, that's not what it's called. It's called something.
A factory.
Oh, chain reaction.
A chain reaction. Yes, that's what it was.
Domino effect?
No, it's
Assembly line.
I don't know. It's not. No, it's not any of those.
Somewhere
Help
a
us out
butterfly
here.
flaps its wings.
It's got a specific name of like that process. I don't remember
Processing.
what it is. It's not a chain reaction. No, it's not that. Anyway, he's got a lot of those things
I'll look it up.
in his cave. So like, he's smart.
Yeah.
Like he's a very creative guy. This Grinch in both movies. He's got that kind of stuff going on. I just thought that was interesting. That's the only reason I'm bringing that up.
Okay.
But as far as stealing Christmas, I go with Hal also. I think he did a better job
Like
on that one.
Perpetual motion, something like.
Perpetual motion. I don't think that's it.
I don't know.
Oh, chain reaction.
Whatever, man. Whatever. It's not that important, I guess.
You giving it to Hal?
I give it to Hal. Yeah, I think he did a better job stealing Christmas.
Especially that part where he stops and he's like, "Somebody stop me!"
Yeah. He does the snake slither too.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's like on his fingers and toes.
yeah, that was fun.
Because that's like from the movie.
Almost lost my cool there.
I didn't like when he had the interaction with Cindy Lou.
Yeah.
Because to me, I was like, how do you not see that that's not Santa with the big green fingers sticking out the tree?
Well, because Christmas is red and green.
No, I
And
think
no
she
one's
knew.
seen Santa before.
I think
so
the
no
I
one's
think
to
the
say he
emphasis
actually-
is that she knew. But
Well,
and we've established this at the beginning. She only sees the best in him.
Yeah,
So she's like, maybe
and that's
he really is
what I
helping.
had to tell myself in that. I
Also, that
figured-
lie was more convincing in how. I'm just gonna say it.
What that it was Santa.
Yeah, or him how he's like phrases it,
Uh-huh.
or maybe it's just the delivery or the actual writing. I don't know what it was, but I was going, okay, so he's a good liar.
Well, yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
Because he through the whole movie he does things that he's tricking people the whole time.
Yeah.
He's got his little hood on at
That
the
one
beginning.
dude's like, "Oh, it's my friend." He's like, "I hate this guy."
I liked that interaction
Yeah,
for
me too.
sure. And then at the end too, when they actually become friends.
Yeah.
He's like, you finally said something that's actually funny.
Yeah.
The other guy just nervously laughs. So yeah,
He's like, "My friend Grinch." You're like,
Yeah,
I'm definitely your best friend.
that's what it was. Yeah. Okay, so who do you vote for?
Also, how?
Okay, this is also going in a direction that I didn't think it was going to go,
I don't like the direction we're going.
but it's going there. I
but
see
also chain reaction.
it. Okay, it's a chain reaction. Then that's what it's called. All right, what's the next category?
This is it. This is
Last one?
Yeah, the
Okay.
directing.
Okay,
I gave this one just because I knew we were gonna give some more points to the Grinch.
so yeah, I didn't write down the directors for the Grinch because it was, I think, at least 2 of them. There might have been 3 or 4. So I just didn't write them down and announce them earlier. But yeah, the Grinch, that
There were 0 normal shots in how
yeah,
the entire thing
it was so
from
weird.
far away or super close up or a strange angle or the camera was constantly moving.
It does a quick zoom in.
Yeah.
Like
This
'cause
is
it's
Scott Mosier.
just
job.
a one.
That's what this is. Scott Mosier.
Good
That's
job, Scott.
lies. I'm pretty sure in the credits it even
Tell
had more
me
people.
lies. Tell me.
Tell me see little lies.
Let it die. Let it die.
So the Grinch.
We
For
should
me.
have watched the mean one.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I forgot that
Yeah,
movie came
we can
out.
definitely do a horror one and then throw again Hal in there.
Well, what's your vote?
Oh yeah, I'm not. I can't give it to Hal.
Ron
because-
Howard?
Yeah, that's. I mean, I understand what he was going for. I can see it,
It was not a hit though.
but it really does feel like he's like conjuring
Burton.
Burton. Yeah, and that's just. Just do you, man.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure if it was a kids movie or not a kids movie. I didn't get it. Ellie didn't get it. She was like in and out of the movie. Like, what's going on? Why is that? Why am I
guy.
scared right now? Is that funny? I'm not sure if that part was supposed to be funny. Like, she just was not getting the movie. So, definitely other guy.
For sure.
So, that's 3 points there?
And with that, we're out of categories.
Hal probably smoked it.
And
We gave Hal a lot of points.
they are exactly tied.
Oh,
Are you
really?
serious? Wow, I didn't see that one
Because
coming
we
either.
abstained those times.
Yeah.
Okay, so another thing that threw me off from Hal, and maybe this will be a minus points, is
Yeah, I'm ready to give minus points.
how the lady Martha has a crush on the Grinch the whole time.
Yeah.
That was very awkward for me, especially
that
for
was
being
like 20 years ago.
well, sure. And that part was fine, I think, because like
No, I mean the fact that it continues 20 years later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
but does it though? Because like she is just like the mayor.
Yeah.
Like there would be some sort of difference or variance in character development. Like if she really does have a crush on the Grinch, like you don't just. I don't know. I don't know.
Are you trying to justify it?
I'm trying to figure it out in my own head.
Right. I just like and the crush is fine. Like you can have a crush on the Grinch, and
It's just not done great.
but the way that it was done, it was a little bit like a little too much innuendo in it, and again like kids movie or not kids movie, I don't know. What am I
Nobody
supposed to
knows.
feel here? I'm not sure. So I don't know. Maybe we want to give minus points on that. But then again, I want to give points when the Grinch turns into the Hulk and he lifts up the sleigh.
Nah, I did not want to give points for that.
He pulls the sleigh back and then he's like, "Ah!"
I kind of liked giving him super strength as a kid.
I think it's fitting to just leave them tied.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, which one's the best? The original short one.
That's true.
Boom. There you go.
I'm going to say, I'm going to subtract 1 point from Hal.
Okay.
I think it is slightly worse.
Let's see if we all agree, then yes.
Because I have never in my
It has to
entire
be
life,
unanimous, though.
never in my entire life
Do you agree?
have I been so happy
I don't.
that I'm
They're
done.
tied. So.
I didn't understand the question. Ask me again. All right, go ahead.
Never in my life have I been so happy that I was done watching a movie. It ended, and I was like, "Dang, I'm going to sleep, man. I'm done with this."
That is very true.
The entire thing.
I was ready.
It's
to be
because
done
of the
with that
camera work mostly, but everything else combined with it.
It's
was
just an
like,
exhausting experience.
Yeah, and I wanted to be done with it halfway through, and I looked at the clock, and it was 45 minutes in, and
You're like, man, this runtime is killing me. Right now.
yeah,
Yeah, that was definitely a thing for me. And if it wasn't for like we're doing this podcast, for you guys,
would not have finished the movie.
would not have even watched it again. So, do we want to give a minus 1 point?
No, I say leave them tied.
Leave them tied then. It's a tie.
No definitive winner.
The winner is How the Grinch Stole Christmas, 45-minute version from what?
Well,
the early 90s.
Like Hayden said, that's enough. It's enough time.
Yeah.
It's enough time to tell that story.
Yep.
And I think these movies officially prove that is true.
Absolutely.
So there you go. Let us know if you disagree on that. If you got any other points, because we went through all the facts and this is what we came up with. So, all right, we good?
Here we are.
And we do have another preview because, again, Danny Elfman, he was in the battle. You done yawning?
Yeah, I'm done now.
I should be the one yawning.
I know. He's been awake since 4.
Yeah, well, it won't
And
be
I-
dark out.
I flew to 2 different states today.
We won't go until 5:30. We said
It's not quite dark yet.
All right. Well, let's finish up. So, Danny Elfman was in this. He was in the battle. He moved ahead. James Horner,
is not moving ahead.
he didn't move ahead?
He went up against Ludwig.
That's right.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
it's not another preview.
That was a tough one.
Wow.
Maybe
All
wild
right.
card.
Well, all right. So next episode, special episode, our awards ceremony.
Tune in for the first annual Sonia's.
Yeah.
It's a chain reaction.
And we're gonna battle. We're gonna battle who again?
Sylvester the Cat.
Sylvester the Cat versus Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, Elmer Fudd.
Do your homework. Thank you guys for checking us out. Subscribe and like and comment because we want you guys to give us information or feedback and talk with us. Yeah. Well, give us information. Let us know what that chain reaction thing's called. Definitely give me that information.
Yeah.
The Room Upstairs podcast on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. Find us, follow us, have a good time with us.
Yeah.
We thank you so much.
This is
Let's
our
get
last
outta here.
episode before Christmas. So have a happy holidays, ye people.
I'm not gonna wish that on the
That
Grinch.
was the weirdest
We'll
thing.
see you.
I thought you were gonna say have a holly jolly Christmas or something. Like,
Have a Grinchy, Minchy Christmas.
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's fandom for you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.